Hey, what's up, and welcome to my corner of the internet. So lately, I've been talking about a lot of things that I wasn't interested in anime, and like just downplaying all the stuff that I'm just on. It's time to talk about an anime that I've been really big on, but I haven't really talked about. I haven't really mentioned it. I haven't given it any notice. And the crazy part about this is it's on its third season. It's doing the damn thing. It's pretty well loved, and I see people talking about it, and the manga is fire. This is a really good manga. The anime seems to be doing the thing. I like how it's animated. It's pretty cool. It's something, I guess the word that comes to mind with this anime is epic. And I'm going to stop beating around the bush. I'm talking about Kingdom.
俺たちは力も心も等しい。二人は一心同体だ。お前が羽ばたけば、俺も。
And this is written by Yasuhisa Hara, and man, this is one of those animes. I saw the manga and I jumped right on it. And there's something amazing. You know, as kids, you play war and you run around, you get enough people and you're just running around. There's something so epic about this anime, and it captures it. And of course, it's based in historical context. It's a fictional account of the warring states, and I love every piece of it. I love how the beginning arc just pits off the story, and I love how we're now witnessing something. Also, quick side, it is about 70% right throughout my research. That 70% of it is actually correct historically. Some of it is played up, some of it is played down. I mean, this is an anime for the most part, so they had to play up a couple different things. But it holds true to the saying of history is sometimes more interesting than any folklore we could ever come out with.
俺たちの剣は天下に轟く剣だ。誰にも負けねえ。
And boy, oh boy, is it interesting. It's to the point where it's so informational. I'm so interested. It's about the unification of China and how this came about. And of course, if you know history and you know that side of history, you pretty much know what happens. But it's so interesting to see that some of this really happened and how interesting the personalities were, the tactics within war. It made me feel like I was rereading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. There's so many interesting pieces of this anime that I really enjoy. And once again, I cannot get over the word epic. There's just something about masses of people just doing great wars and fighting. And this is history. This is some of the great pieces that help build the fundamentals of the world and change the world as we know it to this day. So this is just a good anime. So if you have no idea about Kingdom, please go watch Kingdom. And I love our main protagonist. I love who he is as a person. I love a lot of the fighting he does. I love a lot of the way he is charismatic. He's well liked. He is just a pretty good protagonist to really just watch and see how he goes from step A to step B. And also, this anime does something even more beautiful than most animes do. This way of passing the torch. And Sheen, I'm not going to spoil it. Sheen gets the torch passed on to him by several other characters. I'm not going to spoil it. But I love how these things happen, and the way that they do it is heart-wrenching. It tears apart the soul, and I love how we see character personality. No character, even though we are dealing with masses and thousands and leagues of men and characters, the characters that stick out really have personalities. There's all sorts of different characters, and it doesn't feel like we're just learning character after character after character. It feels like each of these characters have their unique personality, their unique ways of doing things, and the unique ways they exist within their own world. And I love how these personalities go head to head, and you learn so much from the tactics. The manga, that is so well drawn, especially the action poses and some of the way that the characters fight and how it's just really cool. I really cannot blame how cool this is.
女 も美女。
And also, if you couldn't already tell, I'm a sucker for history. History has a lot of very interesting things that happens within it that most people, if you just learn it from school, you're just like, it's whatever. But when you allow history to exist, you find accounts, you read secondhand papers, you read some of the news clippings of what happened during that time. History is a very interesting mistress because you're basically seeing the fundamentals that built upon the world that we have to this day. And Kingdom is just filled with so many cool things. Now, I do know there's a bit of dramatization, but is it really dramatized? Well, it probably is anyway. That was a stupid thing. I was about to say something really stupid. I just love how this anime does things. And it's so successful in doing it, and I continue to see so many people talking about the characters and how they're being represented and how this history is being showcased to us, because the idea of unifying China, do you know how big China is? I'm gonna show you China. China is huge. To imagine someone actually doing this is incredible. Like, these are things that like shaped an entire hemisphere of people, and like China is enormous, fam. So like, that's really cool to think about. I just love that this anime is historical. It brings people more knowledge, and I know so many people that watched anime that were based in historical aspects, or at least said some fact about history, just talked about anything that happened in somebody else's culture that was actually true, and they did so many research. Like, I love animes that I learn from, and this is one of those animes you definitely learn from. You know what I like about it? It makes history cool and interesting. Could you imagine having our like American history in like anime, which would probably be terrible when you think about it, but I think it'd be pretty funny to watch. Kingdom is a great anime, and you should totally watch it. Like, this is one of those things that I am just overjoyed that I'm watching. I love our main character Sheen. I love how he's going from just being a little runt that ended up losing his friend and passing the baton on to himself to come and be one of the greatest general under the heavens. And there's just something so dope about saying being the greatest under the heavens. Like, that is such a fire bar, and it's based in so many different, well, from my research, it's based under something Buddha said and a couple other religious figures or spiritual figures have said. And I think that's pretty cool to be able to just say something so confident. Like, that's fire. Like, I don't know, I just get excited by the epicness of this anime. This epic anime is really epic. It just feels like things are going, pushing and pulling. The deaths matter. The fights have such weight. And I always mention the idea of weight within these emotional moments, but there's just weight to actions, there's weight to choices, there's weight to conversations, and there's so much weight to basically one of our main characters, the prince, who ends up becoming the king of the Qing dynasty. Don't want to try and pronounce that correctly. He has so much weight to his choices, and low-key, I've been told that he actually wasn't that good of a guy, but hey, that's just word on the street. But regardless of that, please do not look up the historical events unless you do not care about being spoiled, which I kind of don't care about being spoiled. I kind of know what happens towards the end and whatever and whatnot, but this is a totally interesting anime. I love how they're doing history. It's about 70% right, like I previously mentioned, and I'm excited that it's got a third season, because once you get to the third season, it pretty much means you're gonna keep going for a very long time, so that must mean its popularity is pretty much up. Like, how many animes do we know get a third season? Like, it's been a long time since I've seen animes get more than 2 seasons. I'm not gonna lie, I'm more interested in animes going long term again. I'm getting a little tired of the short term anime, but that's more of an opinion that I've had in my heart because I grew up on long form animes. Like, I love that animes long. I love that animes get more than 24 episodes. So Kingdom is definitely one of those animes that needs a couple of seasons. It keeps growing. I hope it keeps growing in popularity because this is a great story. I love the historical aspects, and I also enjoy that it's built upon the dreams of boys who are dealing with the hard choices, dealing with the adult world, dealing with war, dealing with the choices that come within this anime. And it definitely gets deep. It gets a little dark, and it has so many different aspects of conversations about spirituality, the facts and rights of war, and then what happens to the people when this war happens, and what is a good king versus a bad king, and how should you win a war. And at the end of the day, war is war. You are destroying people's homes, you are destroying people's identities, and the unification of China. There's just so many aspects being talked about within this anime, philosophically, theologically, and it's definitely interesting to just see, because when you look at things from a glance, you start to realize everybody is a victim in their own way to each piece of this story. And it's genuinely interesting to see that our main character, which is an orphan of war, is now becoming one of the great generals under the heavens. And I love so much that this is built upon following dreams and just changing the world with the choices that you make. And it's definitely fulfilling my heart to see something like this unfold. So please go watch Kingdom and have a great day. And thank you for watching. Seriously, I genuinely appreciate it. I'm getting close to 100 subscribers, so I'm kind of happy about that. And my views are up than usual. Like, it's more than 14. And that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Like, I did this channel like a year ago, and now we're here. So, super excited. Thank you for watching. Seriously, I gotta keep saying that. Have a great day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You know the vibes. And peace.